The Rule of Five, today on the Daily Show.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition, liftoff.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Daily Show, a show not just for rental housing providers, but anybody looking to get a little bit more time freedom and white space on your calendar. It is really good to see you in 2022. Yes, I know. I've been a little bit remiss in my in my daily-ish duties, but holy crap, I got sick really bad. Um, and man, I understand why people die from whatever it is that's going around because they want to die. It was bad. But I don't know if it was the Cron or the Rona or whatever it was. I'm just telling people it was something far less embarrassing. I'm just saying it was syphilis. So why not? We'll just go with that. Anyway, so hopefully you are all staying safe and healthy out there. I had a cold. It was like right here. It was like the base of my neck, top of my lungs. I could not. It wouldn't get worse. It wouldn't get better. It just wouldn't go away. It was like a bad penny. So anyway, we're all on the mend now, and I promise you, you wouldn't have wanted to hear a daily-ish show with listening to me cough every 30 seconds. So that would have sucked. So here I am. I'm all healthy now. Everything's good to go. So what we're talking about today, as we head into 22, we are talking about goal setting, and goal setting is obviously a big thing. I know some of you have already given up on your New Year's resolutions, right? Well, that's understandable because you've, many of you have put way too many lofty things all at one time, and you just burned yourself out way too quick. Again, I totally get it because I did the same thing for years, where I would just, want to, give up sugar, give up, go to the gym 3 times a day, and stop drinking soda and stop eating fast food and become a priest, join the NFL, it's like, okay, come on, man, there's just way too many things all at one time. So as we're talking about the rule of five, this is actually something that I picked up from one of Jack Canfield's books. I believe it was the Success Principles. And anyway, one of the things that he talked about in that book is something he referred to as the rule of five, which is the idea that you could have the largest tree in the world. And no matter how large that tree is, it could be knocked down if every day you just took an axe and took 5 swings at it. Eventually, that tree will fall. And it's said of your largest visions, of your largest goals, whatever it is. And the same could be said for that, right? And he referenced that in terms of launching his book Chicken Soup for the Soul, which was obviously a blockbuster, was a massive success. And he talked about the rule of five. So what are the 5 things that they could do each day to get that book in front of other people, right? Now, I'm intermingling again vision with goals here. So let me just back up, put a pin in that for just a second for the rule of five. We're going to come back to that, and we're going to talk about vision and goals. Now, vision and goals, I do see a difference between vision and goals. Now, vision for me is really what it is that I want to accomplish. What am I looking to do? What is it that I'm trying to get to? The goals are just the intermediate waypoints along the way to my vision. Okay, it's going to lead to specific actionable steps that are going to get me to my goals, and my goals should all be in alignment with my vision, my ultimate vision, right? So in other words, if let's say I want to be completely debt free as part of my vision, a goal might be to pay off one credit card, right? If it's, if my vision is to be financially, let's just say financially free. Of course, I want it to be a little bit more defined than that. But let's just say we want financial independence. Well, that would mean, I want to be debt free, and I also want to have, say, $125,000 in cash in my checking account, right? For example. So if I'm going to be building cash, I'm also going to be building or reducing debt. There might be goals and milestones along the way that I want to hit by certain periods of time, right? So that's why it's important to have goals that are in alignment with your vision, but you've got to have your vision well defined. Now, every single time I talk about this, whenever I talk to people about vision, and especially in the context of those people who are in the real estate space, right? Well, they'll say, "Oh yeah, I know exactly what my vision is. I know I want 100 rental units, right?" Well, hold on a second. Pump the brakes. We're talking about the difference between personal vision and business vision. Okay. Personal vision is specifically what it is you want in your life. Again, many times, even when I challenge people, they'll say, no, 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 I really want 100 rental properties. I'm like, okay, you want 100 rental properties to do what? Now, I'm not gonna deny that there's people out there who say, oh, yeah, I want 100 rental properties because, quite frankly, I want to feel important. I want to feel significant in the world, and it's going to add to my significance. It's going to make me feel important. It's going to increase my status if I have 100 rental units. Okay, I'm not going to say that that's wrong, but again, to do what? To do what with? Right? So if it's just a question of increasing your status, then that's a rabbit you're never going to catch, because there's always going to be someone else who has a higher status. There's always going to be someone who has more significance than you. There's always going to be someone who has more importance than you. Ask me how I know. I chased that rabbit for so many years until I realized the only really person that I have to get over and the person I have to impress is myself. And that was a really hard burden. That was really hard for me to get past. Okay. So once I kind of get, because I was stuck on stupid for so many years, that really what I was doing is I was confusing my business vision for my personal vision. And my business vision, I was sitting there thinking, like, well, yeah, I want to get 100 rental units or whatever it is. Um, but realistically, to do what? What was my personal vision that I wanted to accomplish? Now I've talked about my personal vision quite often here, again, to have a closer relationship with my God, to have a closer relationship with my gal, to have a closer relationship with our sons, right? To have a closer relationship with my family. And those are much more well defined, to be completely financially independent, which also means that I am completely out of debt and I have a certain amount of cash in the bank, right? So those are all well defined, and I have goals along the way to get to my personal vision. Now let's switch over to business vision here for just a second. Business vision is defined a little bit differently, because the business vision is really just the vessel that's going to get you and deliver your vision for you. Now, here's the thing that I noticed in my own case. I was writing out a summary today for a course I'm going to be teaching, or a class I'm going to be teaching in a few weeks. And it was interesting because I noticed that back when I was in my early days in the real estate game, that I defined my business vision first. And because I defined my business vision first, what ended up happening was I got I got caught up in a life that existed to serve the business, rather than having a business that existed to serve me and my life. Do you understand that consideration? That's really important to understand. Because I defined the business vision first, I existed for the business, rather than me, defining my personal vision first and having a business that served my personal vision, right? And I know it's a small, but it's a very important distinction. And once I realized that, I was like, holy crap, all I did was create a prison for myself. And I had 90 plus rental properties and bringing in roughly $65,000 a month. And my life was the definition of hell. It was absolutely terrible. So, I mean, and you're like, oh, well, how terrible could that be? Well, I'll tell you how terrible it could be. Working 100 plus hours a week where I couldn't enjoy anything. Yeah, I had some enviable stuff. I had a big house and a nice car and all that stuff, but I couldn't enjoy any of it. I was literally working 8 to 10 hours a day, every day, 7 days a week. And I could never take any time off. So when I had that business vision defined, even though it was really well defined, it was out of order. I needed to put my personal vision first and then go with my business vision. So when I'm defining my business vision, I'm going to go through this really quickly because I just don't want to keep you on too long. But it's defined by three things, and this is how I do it. First of all is your core purpose. What business specifically are you in? What business do you do? What problems do you solve for people? And once I define my core purpose, then I define my core values, meaning what is it that specifically that you value? Or said another way, how would the world be a worse place if your business went out of business? Right? And third and finally, I also define my client avatar. Specifically, who am I serving? So, core purpose, core values, and client avatar. Once I define those three things, it's really easy for me to look through that lens and define my business vision. Then I can look at a 3-year business vision, revenues, profit, you think RPM, revenues, profits, and metrics. My 1-year business vision, again, revenues, profits, and metrics. And then I can start to back into a 90-day plan and have a 90-day actionable metrics that are going to deliver my 1-year business vision for me, right? Now, again, my business vision is not my personal vision, but the business vision should be in alignment with your personal vision. Okay. So think about a personal vision, then business vision, and then define those three C's, right? Core values, core purpose, client avatar, and then define your 3-year business vision, and then your 1-year business vision, and then your 90-day goals that all are in alignment with all of that. Okay. So I know I covered a lot of that, but you just have to think about this for just a second. Let's say, for argument's sake, I'll give you a quick example when we come back to the rule of 5. Now, in terms of the rule of 5, let's say, for argument's sake, you're a contractor and your goal is to grow your top line revenues by 30%. Now, that's a goal, right? Your 1-year business vision might be to deleverage your company by, say, 15%. In order to do that, you're going to need to grow your top line revenues by 40%, right? So let's say your goal in the next 90 days, okay, is to grow your top line revenues, say, by 20%. Okay. So in the next 90 days, well, that date, by the way, would be March 31st. And that would mean you're already 14 days into the quarter. So you better get your ass moving. But what specific things could you do? Well, again, if you're a contractor, how about reaching out to 5 of your past clients that have already spent money with you, and ask them if they need anything, or if anyone that they know might need something, just as an example, right? That would be the rule of 5. 5 very actionable things. If you're in the real estate business, for example, that might be, and you're looking to, say, for example, growing your portfolio, that might mean sending out 50 letters each day to owners of properties in your buy box, and that's in the area that you want to buy in. Okay, that could be one. You could contact 2 wholesalers from a We Buy Houses sign that you've seen in the neighborhood and see if they have anything that they're looking to sell. That could be 2 and 3. And for 4 and 5, you could have a sit down meeting with 2 different property managers who might have owners who are looking to sell some properties, right? That could be 4 and 5. So that would be 5 things that you could do in each day to help look to expand your portfolio, right? But those are 5 very actionable things. Some bad examples of the rule of 5 might be things that look busy, but they're really not. Things like, oh, let me check my email 48 times today. Not helpful, right? Or I'll post on Facebook that I'm looking to do. Or Instagram, or do research, right? Like, that's not super actionable. It might be helpful, but it's not super actionable. I would want it actionable and measurable, and specifically actionable and measurable things, not generic time wasters. Okay. Well, that is all I have for today, folks. It's good to see you back, and it's good to be back. Man, I'll tell you, whatever it was that's going around, I will pray for all of you, because that sucked, whatever that was. So anyway, I am glad to be healthy again. But thanks for reaching out, and I know I will be back more on a daily-ish routine, and it's good to be able to be speaking again and not coughing. So please be sure that you're staying healthy out there, because honestly, if you don't have your health, you certainly don't have very much. But anyway, please be sure to place a value on your free time, because if you don't, someone else will. But most important, there is no amount of money that will make time irrelevant. Have an awesome day. I'll see you guys next time.